Hello again, my beautiful souls. I'm out for my walk and talk, and I'd like to invite you along. Come walk with me. What are we going to talk about today? I have to admit, it's been a little while since I've been able to do a walk and talk. The weather hasn't been the most conducive, and I don't have a way to walk inside, and it feels really good to be back out in nature and in the sunshine. It feels calming to my soul. I feel connected again. Call me weird. And I'm not sure what I want to talk about today. And I think that that's part of the reason why I also haven't been walking is I haven't had the need to process anything out loud. And I also think part of the reason is I haven't been walking is I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to come up with a topic to talk about, to process out loud in order to post on my YouTube channel. And it's created a resistance to go out and walk. And maybe that's the thing that needs to be talked about, that I need to process today, is the resistance. I've heard, and maybe what's the word? Well, I can't think of the word right now, but it's the coalescence of all of the things I've been hearing lately, leaning into the resistance. It's not actually the thing that causes the discomfort. It's the resistance to the thing. So what is the resistance? That the topics that I want to talk about aren't going to be related to helping the people I want to help, aren't going to be accepted, aren't going to be good enough. It feels hard. And if it feels hard, then what happens? Because if it's too hard, nobody wants to do what's hard. But why should it feel easy if it's a practice? What's the resistance that I'm feeling that created the feeling in me to give up so easily, or the want to give up so easily? And what if I leaned into the resistance, in the belief that I can only walk in perfect weather, and the belief that I can only process out loud when I'm walking because movement sparks creativity? So all of the components of resistance, all of the things that I think or believe that are going into not wanting to have walked. So what is the thing for you that you've been resisting, that if you leaned into the resistance would create a breakthrough for you, create a transformation, a change? And it doesn't have to be profound. It only has to be a 2 millimeter shift. What if you leaned into all of the reasons why you resist? Do you resist asking for help? Do you resist saying no? Do you resist the temptation to binge? What else do you resist? What are all of the things that are happening inside your mind, creating all of the negative, uncomfortable emotions when you think about doing the thing, or even afterwards? You binged again. What are all of the things that you're allowing yourself to feel after the binge? And I feel like I'm really flubbing this talk up. There's been all sorts of distractions today. I've got alerts coming in on my phone because I forgot to hit the do not disturb. There's people practicing their motorcycle riding in the parking lot. There's airplanes going overhead. And I just feel really distracted trying to get this out. And I think that's part of the resistance in doing this, is I'm giving permission for the distractions to distract me. There goes another alert. Allowing the distractions to distract me so I don't have to do this, that it's not good enough to put out. So I'm just going to end up deleting this. And I'm telling myself also, send it anyway, because done is better than perfect. Nobody wants perfect, because then nobody resonates with perfect. What if I get to lean into feeling imperfect as part of the resistance to doing this? And what are the feelings that come along with being imperfect? Because perfect felt like safety for me for a lot of years. And I know that there are still tendrils that I lean into in perfectionism. And I'm wanting to cry right now. And I'm resisting it because this feels really hard. And it's not turning out the way I want. And it doesn't feel good. And I'm going to allow it, because what we resist persists. And it gets to be okay. And it gets to be messy. And it gets to be authentic. I don't have to be perfect at everything I do every time. And maybe the one person who needs to hear this today will hear it and help them. I also feel like I don't want to put this out because I don't want people to feel sorry for me because I'm sitting here crying into my phone to put it on YouTube. And I needed to get this out of my nervous system. And I get to reset and I get to go forward from here because this is the 2mm shift. I get to release the tension that I have been experiencing in my body for the last 2 weeks. I get to take the deep breaths and I get to know that I am still safe, even though I lean into the resistance. And nothing changes unless I want it to. And that's not coming across the way I want it to, because we all change every day in one way, shape, form, or another. And I guess I'm not sure what that part meant. What if nothing changed? Nothing. I get to lean into the resistance to the struggle. Live version of processing. I think what I was trying to say is nothing gets to change my feeling of safety in my body and with my nervous system and in my mind unless I allow it. And why would I allow processing out loud, just speaking into my phone, change the safety I feel? I get to ask myself, what's the deeper underlying belief filter that's being triggered that this isn't safe? Because I also believe speaking it out into existence doesn't allow it to live in my body anymore. And sometimes I think we start down old paths before we even realize what's going on, before we get to course correct. And today I get to course correct. I get to start my walk and talks again. I get to start leaning into creating my own sense of safety in my own change and transformation 2mm at a time, because I get to be consistent with small baby steps. And sometimes if we take 2 steps back, it's something that we need to relearn, become aware of again, and we get to start to practice it again. And maybe it's practicing it in a new way, in a different way, because maybe that first baby step took us as far as it needed to take us, and now we get to course correct to take a new baby step in a different direction, in a different way. So here's my raw, unfiltered, vulnerable, authentic self, leaning into the resistance, the imperfections, leaning into my perceived flaws and sharing them with the world. And I hope whoever this helps, you get a 2mm shift from it today. I'd like to hear what your 2mm shift is after listening, because maybe your 2mm shift will also help somebody else have a 2mm shift. As always, live radiantly, my beautiful souls, and stay true to you. I love you.